This week on Boring Gear Reviews, we have the Screen Violence from Old Blood Noise Endeavors. Old Blood Noise Endeavors was founded by Brady Smith and Seth McCarroll in 2014. They're based out in Oklahoma, and they have a very expansive and unique catalog of pedals they release. One of their releases this year is the Screen Violence. It's a distortion and modulated reverb that they made in collaboration with the band CHVRCHES. So on one side, you have a fuzzy transistor-based drive, and on the other side, you have two modes for a very heavily modulated reverb. On the distortion side, or violence side, you get two modes of a low gain and high gain. And then there's an additional function where if you hold both foot switches down for about 3 to 5 seconds, the gain channels will stack on top of each other for really thick, heavy distortion. We have a voice control, which acts as a treble boost or cut, depending on if you turn it counterclockwise or clockwise, and a volume, which sets the output of the distortion channel. On the screen side, or the reverb side, it can act both as a reverb and as a delay, depending on where you have the screen knob positioned. With the screen mode up, you have a cascading delay feeding into like a chorus. And then with the screen mode down, you have a short, medium, and long range reverb, and it kind of blends in between them. Lastly, we have this huge toggle in the center, which switches the order of the distortion and the reverb. Really useful. For me personally on my board, I have distortion and reverb both before and after each other. So I have a bunch of reverbs and a bunch of distortions so I can achieve this effect. And finally, the pedal can run in stereo and mono. So really useful for any type of rig you have. For today's demo, I'm going to be using my 2022 Dunable Yeti. It has Dunable Grizzlies in it, but these are custom wound, so they're unpotted and low output. For this clip, I'm going to be starting with just the reverb on. So you're going to hear my clean signal and the reverb. We're going to be using the bottom mode. So, and I have it set around 1 o'clock, so somewhere between like a medium and a long haul, whatever-ish reverb. The distortion is going to run first, and you'll hear it's very obvious when I turn it on. It's set around 11 o'clock on the lower gain setting, and I have the voice or tone around 10 o'clock. For the whole demo, I'm going to keep the volume around the same spot, 1 or 2 o'clock. So what you're going to hear is something, maybe my favorite thing about this pedal is that the reverb will react dynamically to your playing. So the harder you pick, those notes will ring out even as you're playing under it, and they won't interfere with each other. So you're going to hear just the reverb, and then when I turn on the distortion, at the end of it, I'm going to let it ring out and then just turn off the distortion and play under it. But it's not as if I'm turning off the reverb and it's just the tails of the reverb. The reverb is still going, but you're going to hear the distorted reverb carry on while I play clean underneath it. And then as the distorted reverb fades out, you'll hear just the clean reverb again. Super, super cool. All right, so next we are going to stack the drive section. So I'm going to hold the both foot switches down for 3 to 5 seconds. This LED will turn from orange to red, and that's how you'll know when you're in that. It's going to be way heavier, a much thicker, more fuzzy distortion. And I'm going to have it set in the high gain mode, and then the distortion around 1 o'clock. I'm going to turn up the voice as well, so I'm going to get a little more high end around 1 or 2 o'clock here too. The EQ, or the voice knob on this pedal, is balanced so well. There's no bad sound here. So whether you turn it all the way up, or you turn it all the way down, you're not going to get like a harsh or muddy sound here. When you turn it all the way off, it's not like when you roll the tone off on your guitar and there's just no high end. When you roll the voice all the way down here, you still have clarity. It's just much darker. And then when you roll it all the way up, it's never shrill or piercing or anything like that. It's just there's a high end. Yeah, it's balanced really, really well. So the reverb side, I'm going to start with again. I'm going to have it in the upward mode, the upper mode, the top one. The switch is going to be flipped up, and I'm going to have it set it around noon. So it's now moving into somewhere in between like a delay and a reverb. So you're going to hear some of those cascading delay lines, but it's going to kind of start washing out a little bit. And then I'm going to engage the drive section, and it'll get really, really fuzzy. I'm going to have the reverb first. So when the drive turns on, the distortion will be after the reverb. Super rad, right? So in this next clip, I'm going to really push the reverb in front. So I'm going to turn the mix all the way up on the screen side, the reverb, and I'm still going to keep it in the upward position. And I'm also going to crank the screen knob. So almost all the way up, maybe around, I don't know, 5, or I guess technically it's like 4 o'clock, somewhere around there. So you're going to hear a lot of the modulation. One of the things I really enjoy about this pedal is the modulation. It's, when you use any modulation pedal, a chorus or whatever, and you crank up the depth and it gets very woozy. But on a chorus pedal, when you do that, it can also get kind of obnoxious. Something about the curve of it, I don't know exactly. But here, I never find that to be the case. It's always modulated. And when it's front and center like this with the mix all the way up, it has this. So in my head, the term or the image I get is like a film reel. I don't know why. That's it. This has nothing to do with that. I don't know why that's what I feel, but it is. There's some sort of warble, like film or tape warbles. It doesn't feel like a digital chorus pedal or something like that. It doesn't feel like an effect. It feels more organic. Anyway, so you're going to hear that. And then the whole time I'm going to have the drive in the low gain mode. I'm going back to the single unstacked, so with the orange LED, just for a little bit of kind kind of like a tube saturation sound. Yeah, enjoy. So in this clip, I'm going to use it a little more traditionally. I'm still going to keep the drive section in like a kind of a tube breakup. So the violence knob will be set around 9 in the low gain mode and the voice at noon. I'm going to run the drive first into the reverb, into the screen side. So here I'm going to be using the downward position, the lower mode, and the reverb will be set around 1 o'clock with the mix around 10. And I'm going to be using the split coils on my Yeti. And so I'll be primarily in the neck position, and then I'll go to the bridge at the end. So this is like a little more kind of traditional way you would use this pedal for drive and reverb. You're still going to hear that really nice modulation and just a little bit of breakup. Super, super pleasant sound. And now we're going to go through one of my favorite settings, not just on this pedal, but on anything. I love a mid gain with a slapback delay. And that's how I'm going to use this. So running the drive first, I'm going to use the high gain setting. Still, you know, not stacked. So it's still the orange LED, but I'm having it in the up switch so I get the higher gain. And I'm going to have it set around 1 o'clock. I'm going to turn the voice all the way up. And here you'll see that even maxed on the EQ, it's not shrill, it's not harsh. There's no ice pick thing happening. It's just a little more high end. It sounds great. And the screen side, I'm going to have it in the upward mode, and then I'm going to roll it back around 9 or 10 o'clock. This is where you'll get a lot of that slapback type delay. And I'm going to lower the mix about 9 o'clock as well. You're going to hear my clean signal, and then just the drive, and then the reverb on as well, or the slapback on as well. And there you have it. Before I wrap up, I'd like to say that this is a new YouTube channel. This is a new endeavor for me. And I really appreciate everyone who's subscribed. It's really, really cool. It means a lot. And some of you have left comments and stuff like that. Thank you so much. To that end, if you do enjoy this content and you want to see more, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to get updated for more videos. All right. This is a awesome pedal. It's tough to make just distortion and reverb this interesting. You can do so much with it. The fact that you can control the type of reverb, the length of reverb, the amount of delay with one knob, really cool. You know, there's no bad setting on this. You can be super experimental. You can be pretty traditional. You can do basically anything you want. I'm not traditionally much for modulation. It's just not a sound that I personally use in the music that I make. But with this, I want to use modulation. I like that chorusy sound all of a sudden, which is, I've never had a chorus pedal on my board, but yeah, there's Velcro here. It's super great. I really, really love it. They're a cool company. They have not just this pedal that's super unique and fun. Everything they have is super unique and fun. You've seen me feature the Dark Star before. They're great. If you are interested, I would highly recommend checking this pedal out. Super versatile. To be fair, just the drive section, the violent section alone, is one of my favorite distortions, definitely of the year. Maybe my favorite distortion of the year. It has a really, really organic, warm, it gets fuzzy, it gets super clear and articulate. It has this tone that I can't quite find in other pedals. So just the gain side is worth it. And you also get this really, really cool reverb as well that does so much, and you can act as a delay, and it's modulated. You heard the demo. So anyway, I'm a big fan. I highly recommend it. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys like modulation? Do you like chorus? And let me know what you think of the pedal in the comments below. I appreciate that. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, peace.